Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is another episode of the C programming series, and in this video we are going to learn how to add the account adding functionality to our C bank management application. So we are going to use a modular approach and implement each of the separate commands as functions. So let me go ahead and add a void called add here. So this is going to be just a function, and we are only going to define the functions template here, not the actual function body. So that we can use it, and we will define it after the main function. So we will go ahead and define this here by saying void add and then putting curly braces. And now we can go and in this when we are checking in our if statement, we can just call this function. And since all of these are one liners, we can actually remove these unnecessary braces. So if this only one statement, we can actually skip the braces and if else and any other block, but this only applies if there is only one statement. So yeah, you can see that looks awesome, and we have got a void add function ready here, and we can start adding stuff to it. So first of all, we are going to create an account underscore t called account, which we created in the previous video, and then we are going to print to the screen. We are going to say enter account name, and then we will remind the user that it cannot be any greater than 64 characters, because that is how large our array is. And then we get our account, and we get account dot name, and we put 64 here. Now that works, but we are repeating 64 a lot, and this might cause problems. So what we can do instead is we can use a hashtag define. Hashtag define is a preprocessor macro, just like hashtag include. And what this does is that we can provide a name of the macro. So we say hashtag define, and then we provide a name, and then whatever we put after that, whenever we say now we can put name underscore size here, and whenever we say name underscore size, it is going to replace it with 64. So we can do that, and we can replace name underscore size here, and this will actually just replace the text. So we can put anything here, and it will replace that according to the text. And this is good for defining like constant values, because even though you can use const integers, but normally when we are defining array sizes, the hashtag define works pretty good. So in the get function, we are going to, for the this fgets, by the way, the reason we are using fgets, which is for getting strings. The reason we are using this instead of just gets is because this actually allows us to not just take any value, but it allows us to specify the size, and then we are going to, it is more secure, by the way, so from gets. And but this needs a file to function on, and the file that we are going to give is called stdin. Now this is a built-in file in C, and this basically means the standard input, the actual input that we are getting from the keyboard, from the user. So now we are going to say print enter initial deposit, and we are going to ask the user for that, and we are going to this time use scanf, because this is not a string, and we can take account dot balance like that, and we can of course put an and sign to get its address so that it can be changed. And then what we are going to do, and f of course means float, and then we are going to, now for id we will like to have some method of seeing which id is next and applying that, but for now let's just set that to 0. Now all that is left to do for us is to actually write this account data to the file. So doing that should be pretty simple. What we are going to do is we are going to create a file pointer called fp, and use the fopen function to open the file. Now for the file name, I'm just going to say accounts.dat for data, but for the mode, we are not going to use the write mode. Instead we are going to use the append mode. What it will do is that it will not erase the contents of the file, but instead we will begin writing at the end of the file to actually append something to the file. So that's pretty obvious. Now let's go ahead, and for that we will just say a in that string. It should open it for appending. Now I'm going to go ahead and check if the file pointer is not, and remember this exclamation sign means not, and not file pointer will essentially mean that this file pointer is not null, because if a pointer is null, which means it's pointing to the location 0 in memory, which means that it does not point to anything valid data. So if our pointer is null, then that which means this operation will actually tell us that, and then in that case we can error out, we can return, and we can also go ahead and print something like error failed to open file. That's pretty awesome. Now let's go here, and we can use the fwrite function to write it for the actual, now you should be able to see the fwrite function. So we are going to pass it the address of our account by using and account, and here we are going to for the actual, you can see that we are supposed to put the element size here. For this we can use the size of operator, and it should work like it is supposed to, because you can also use this with structures just like any other thing. And for the actual count, we are going to say 1, because this is not an array, this is just a single element. And then we are going to say file pointer in the end for the actual file pointer we are writing to. Now this code won't actually work because this fget system expects the name to be actually written, so by default there will be no name, so it won't actually work with taking input from the user. But reading a string in C is something rather complicated, but we will try to take a good and robust solution of that in the next video, and we are also going to learn about creating our own header files in the next video. So we will do that in the future videos, but for this video there is one problem though, which is that currently we only do this and in the main in once, which is wrong. We want to do it here. So we want to make sure that we do this printf functionality in the actual while loop, so that this is executed on every run, and that should actually work. And yeah, this is pretty much all we need to do. So this is pretty much it for this video. In the next video we will finish this account reading functionality by creating a proper system to actually read the name. And yeah, stay tuned for that. I will see you in the next one, and make sure to like and subscribe as well, and bye.